live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's another episode of Venture Maidens. And oh my gosh, look, everybody. If you see this on the stream or you're going to hear it in a second, it's a very special episode because there are only two of us. Wow. Sage, how do you feel? Back in the one-on-one hot seat.
Oh man, it feels like it's been a hot minute since we've played together, and now the pressure of just being one-on-one, I'm like, how do I bard?
We have to
I don't even know. I'm ready, I guess.
That's okay. Yeah, because it has been a while since we recorded a fresh episode. So I'm also like, how do I DM? How do I stream? So you know what? We'll figure it out together. Yeah. Welcome everybody. For those of you who are new, welcome. Hey, this is the Venture Maidens. We are an actual play stream that also converts to a podcast. We're a 5th edition actual play. And before we dive into everything, I do want to say this is a very adult-themed stream. So you can expect, the standard things like fantasy, gore, violence, all that stuff. And for this episode in particular, we have some content warnings. We have spiders and possession. So if either of those things are something that you don't feel like you can handle tonight, this may not be the stream for you to watch. But with that, hell yeah, let's get into it. Hey everybody, my name is Celeste Konowich, and tonight I will be your dungeon master.
And it's me, I'm Sage, I'm next. Whoa, and I am your totally ready for a bath bard.
Yay! And that's it. It's just the two of us. So this episode is going to be fun because we're trying something a little bit different with this episode. One of the new mechanics that we are introducing in the Venture Maidens campaign guide, which is coming out in digital form so very soon, is a new mechanic called Heroic Destinies. And Heroic Destinies are basically a way for characters in your game to build their own kind of stories. You can consider them like, B plot lines that go alongside like the A, main plot of a campaign. And so tonight we are doing sort of an aside journey. So this is happening canonically in time with the events of the campaign, but it's almost like a flashback or a step away as we look at a moment when Aoife was on her own for a bit, and we're basically kicking off Aoife's heroic destiny. So I don't know, Sage, do you want to tell them what your destiny is, or do you want it to be a surprise?
I want it to be a surprise.
Okay. All right. So this is going to be a surprise. So we don't know yet. So however this shakes out, that will determine it. It'll be great. So yeah. So for those of you who are caught up with the show, this is happening a little bit out of time. So not immediately after the events of the last episode, but not like quite in time. You know what? Bear with us. It's an experiment. We're going to enjoy it. But before we do that, of course, we have to do a sweet recap of what happened last time. And I kind of want to flash back all the way for this recap to the last time you were in Coven, Aoife, because that is actually where we are picking up. So you are back in Coven during this episode. So last time you were there, what happened? What was going on in Coven?
Last time we were there, oh my gosh, the last time we were there while Tony was having her heroic destiny moment because Lou and Aoife were sent out on their very first mission to pick up a bounty. And Lou had put Tandy to the test to be like, yeah, get us some work. We trust you. And Tandy was like, I don't know why you're coming to me with this when there's like a whole bureau of bounties, but sure. And we're like, sure. I don't know. We were told. And so the next morning we met with these individuals who were supposed to give us some tips on a bounty to pick up, to be on the DL. And it was a lovely couple by the name of Bert and Ernie who own a shop called Imagine It right off of Coven's main square. And so Aoife had, just immediately just got, just made best friends with Bert, and it was supposed to have a meet cute with their son later at some undetermined time. But we had to get down to business and go and pick up the bounty of picking up the Sandman, the sand dealer in the Midnight Quarter. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I was like, oh no, am I pulling from another IP?
No, you're doing it. It was good.
Yeah, Yeah.
Nailed
And
it.
yeah, to go pick up the Sandman and turn them in. And we did after a nearly lethal fight. And yeah, eventually made our way back to the chicken hut, successful with money in hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, great. And basically, then you had to go do a bunch of bullshit outside of Coven. So this, the action of this episode is taking place, basically right before you left, like during that time you had in Coven, at some point, to yourself, or perhaps this happens immediately
Mm-hmm.
after you come back to Coven, like that kind of nebulous zone when basically, Lou and Tony are off taking care of their other business. Maybe Lou's fixing up the food truck. Maybe Tony is
Mm-hmm.
training or looking for her horse friend, or dealing with all that nightmarish shit she's got going on because she keeps making deals. Who knows? But we actually have one more, I think, item of business too before we dive in, because last time you leveled up, right, as well?
We did, yeah. After we
Yeah.
had our fight with the Duke of Pudding,
Oh, pudding.
which was a harrowing fight,
Mm-hmm.
we were awarded a level, and so now we are level 4. And with
Yee!
that, it comes to the future, comes to the part where we either have a take an ability score increase or choose an optional feat. And so we went with just boosting that charisma because we are just sparkles and charisma for days. Now my charisma score is an 18, which is
Whoa,
nice.
hot.
And so, oh yeah, we're so
You are so
Beyblade.
hot.
So well spoken and just so persuasive. So with that, I get an extra use of my bardic inspiration, and then I also got a spell, which was, as we were talking in our pregame chat before this, is apparently one of Celeste's favorite, which is the spell Silvery Barb. So we'll see if I get a use out of it. It's a very cool, very fun spell from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
Oh no, it's from a Curriculum of Chaos, Strixhaven. That's where they introduced it.
Oh,
So
oh,
so all magey wagey, wibbly wobbly.
Luigi bullshit.
Oh boy, oh boy. Hell yeah, cool. Level
Oh
4. And
yeah.
what are your hit points? Just so I know. I'm writing that down.
23.
Okay, that's good. That's like a few hits now.
Yeah, we're little, we can take a couple hits now.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Sweet. Okay. All right. Well, that's all the business, I think, on my end. So, shit, you ready to get into this? All right.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Hell yeah. Let's do it. Okay. So, as I was mentioning before, this episode starts in Coven. In one of those times where, Aoife, you actually have some time to yourself as everybody else is dealing with their different issues, maybe shopping, just that downtime between adventures. So you have a whole day to yourself. And I think the night before this happens, starting right off the bat, you had received a very interesting little note. So starting off at the beginning with a letter. Would you like to read that for me, Sage?
Yes, it says "Darling Fifi," which is Aoife kind of shakes her head a little bit because she's like, "How do people keep thinking of this?" That's like what her littlest sibling calls her, but is not from her youngest sibling. It's from someone else. It says, "Darling Fifi, I am thrilled to hear you are back in Coven, and I took the liberty of setting up a little surprise for you. Be at the Witch's Brew tomorrow at 10 a.m. and make sure you look all in all caps." Cute. Love, Uncle Bertie.
Oh.
And she squeezed and she clasped the note to her chest and she just making little excited squealing girl noises.
Oh, cute. Yeah, so you had received that note. And here we are, the day, this morning, where apparently at 10 a.m. there's some kind of surprise waiting for you. And you were told to look cute. So, of course, I have to ask, Aoife, what are you wearing? How do you look cute to whatever this surprise is?
Okay, so she is I think really feeling like a very cute, very 1920s like flappery look. So her hair overnight she had set her hair into pin curls, and so these like perfect little finger waves that curl around her horns, and she's wearing this very lacy sort of cream colored shift dress with these like little scallops cap sleeves and with like these little, long pearl necklace that drapes down in front. And she has got these, like little maroon leg warmers that just like drape over her hooves. And she's got a cute little, clutch purse, and she is ready to go.
Oh my God, you look so cute. Yeah, so you get all dolled up. Anything else you do before you head to the witch's brew for this apparent meeting?
I think because she would know that she would not want to give Lou unwanted worrying fit. So she would leave a note for Lou out on like the island in the kitchen that says, gone to the witch's brew to meet with Birdie. I'll be safe. Don't worry. I'm fine.
Aww.
And like writes kisses.
Katie in the chat says thank you. So there you go. All right. So you leave a sweet little note and you head off into Coven. And as you have come back to Coven, very little about this place changes, except for, the extreme bouts of weather that last, for an hour or two. It is still like that beautiful, perpetual, small town, harvest festival vibe as you're walking through the streets. People, fae, all kinds of creatures pass you by as you make your way towards the town square and the witch's brew. And as you get in there, you can see a couple other patrons have filtered in. It doesn't seem to be much of like a morning spot, but it is open, almost 24 hours a day. So there are a couple people sitting around, having coffee. And you do see, your friend Tandy drifting around the restaurant, kind of talking to people. And she takes a seat at a table with two people who look confused as she does so, and then she just starts talking and laughing to them. And as you step in the door, she goes, "Oh, hi! Oh, you're back. Sit wherever you want."
And yeah, Aoife waves. Aoife waves very excitedly, and she will look around. Are Bert and Ernie anywhere to be seen?
No.
Yeah, so she'll do a quick pan of the restaurant, and then she'll take a table that's right next to the door, so they of course could not possibly miss her if they were to walk in.
Yeah. So you post up and you wait 3-4 minutes before Tandy yells over, "Oh, do you want something?"
And Aoife says, "Oh, I don't know if we're staying for a long time, so I'll just take a drink, just make it easy. I'm not hungry yet, Marnie always feeds us in the morning."
"Oh yeah, okay. What do you want?" And she stands up and says a few more things to the people she's been talking to, and then walks over to you. And she pulls out a notebook and a pencil, and she looks at it for a long moment, and she says, "Lou said that I should have this, and I don't really know why. Do you know what I'm supposed to do?" She said
generally,
yeah, okay, yeah.
So I had a friend who owned a restaurant, and generally the polite thing was to, when people gave you orders, was to write it down. That so even if you could remember what their order is, it just really makes people feel better and more secure that they're gonna get the right order.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, fun. This must be like a fun mortal game. Okay. No, I like it. What do you want? And she is ready to go with a pencil.
Just a honeysuckle mead, please.
Mead. And she shows it to you, and then says, "I will be right back with that." And she rips off the piece of paper and leaves it for you on the table. And heads off into the back.
Yeah, Aoife looks like she's gonna say something, but she's just like, never mind. It's pointless.
Yeah. Yeah. So Tandy disappears somewhere, and the rest of the patrons kind of look after her too, waving their cups in the air as she passes by, and they put them back down and resume their conversations. With a maybe she'll get to it eventually. So yeah, a couple more minutes pass as you're waiting, and still Bert and Ernie haven't shown up. Anything in particular you're doing, or just continuing to wait?
I think she would give it like another half an hour. Once she gets her drink, have a few, like probably get halfway through her drink, and then if they don't show up, then she would probably head out. Then she would head out to the main square where she had heard that their shop is.
Yeah. And you don't have to wait that long before someone else at least comes in. It's maybe, 5 or so minutes. Tandy is just starting to come back with your drink. And as she puts it down on the table, a new person steps through the door. A very, very tall individual. You can see that they have to stoop a little bit just to get in the door. And as they do, they are dressed in like casual, maybe rough spun kind of clothing. They have a large backpack with them that has several tubes that have been shoved inside, and clutched in front of them is this very large padded book. And the figure themselves, they are covered in like a fine layer of like blue fuzz, and they have a very like wide nose and long ears that kind of stick out to the side. Do you think Aoife has ever seen a furbolg?
I feel like there definitely would be a population of furbolgs like up in the valley, maybe not totally concentrated in Greyhaven, but would have seen some.
Yeah, and I think furbolgs are, they're so, in tune with nature and very small communities. So even the ones who do exist very rarely come into, the towns or cities. So you may have heard of them, seen a couple, but yeah, this is sort of surprised to see a furbolg walking through the door. And this furbolg looks around, you can see with these kind of honey-colored eyes, and he flicks some hair that has kind of fallen into his face, like back a little bit, and looks around, and then walks up to Tandy and says, excuse me, Tandy, do you happen to know an Aoife Flannery? I'm supposed to meet her. And Tandy just looks at him and looks down at you and is like,
oh, over here, that's me.
Oh, you're Aoife. Wow. Hello. My name is Kel, and he offers a hand, like a very professional handshake.
Yeah, and she like reaches it out kind of meekly, like, with all the like the stuff in his like that's like on his back and in his arms, and she's like, reaches out a hand, and she's like waiting to maybe catch something if it falls.
The book is definitely like, you can see it kind of spilling over, and the book is like one of those very, very thick albums, that your like grandma might have, like with the padding, and like you can see there's a bunch of stuff that's been shoved inside, and a couple actually fabric swatches fall out of the book and like onto the table as you shake. And he's like, oh, sorry, I wasn't sure what to bring, but Bertram told me, of course, you've placed the order. So and he sits down and like lugs the big book in front of you and is like, is this an all right place to talk, or would you prefer to meet somewhere else? I'm flexible.
And she's just like, with all the few slips of paper that have slipped out of the book, and she's looking at the fabric samples, and her eyes are just getting bigger and bigger and just full of wonder, and she's like, no, this is great, sit down, oh my goodness, tell me. Bertram didn't really specify any details, he just said that there was going to be a surprise for me here. What's happening exactly?
Oh, and he looks at you and he goes, oh, I thought you... Well, I have a receipt. You placed an order for a bunch of my fabric, so... But you didn't specify, patterns or designs, so I wanted to you You didn't do that? Because I have... I, uh, mm.
And she was just like trying so hard to maintain this like professional demeanor, but like under the table she's just like kicking her little goat legs excitedly, and she says, oh, Uncle Bertie just loves to surprise me with a gift, so I'm sure he put the order in my name and wanted to give me the option to be able to pick out, according to the price that he ordered for. So I would love to look at the options.
Yes. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Yes. Bert does love his surprises, and he looks down at his hands like, okay, well, yes, this is everything that I have created this season. I'm in textiles, so my new patterns, and this is what I have available. And he's flipping through, and he looks very nervous, and he looks at you, and he's, can I ask, how do you know, Bert? Are you like a business associate? Because I mean, you just seem so. I mean, you're not a lot like what I expected. Bert's friends. I didn't really think of you. I mean, you're so, and he's and so I just didn't really. And he goes quiet. He looks at you again with those golden eyes.
And yeah, so she gives the like it's okay gesture with her hands, and she says, it was just a funny happenstance that we ended up meeting. He let me know, I'm new to Coven, which might be, I guess, surprising why I look like this. And she's just like awkwardly gestures at her face.
No, I didn't mean that you're a satyr. I mean, because you're so pretty. I mean, and young. I mean, not like in a creepy way. You're just. I mean, he's sort of an old man, and usually sort of runs in that. Oh God.
She goes, oh, okay, I got you. It's okay. Don't worry. Your work is lovely. I absolutely just adore everything I've seen so far. Textiles, like my nana, she creates doilies, and she's done, she does a lot of weaving and working, but I just really enjoy just getting to work with the fabric itself. It's just,
wait, are you
all that work that gets to leaving up.
Are you that Flannery? Like your grandma, the inventor of lace?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
She's amazing, and I can't believe I get to meet you. Wow, I'm like here with royalty right now.
He's like, yeah, I got this dress was one that I made from a bolt of lace that I got to take with me when I left home, a couple months ago, and yeah.
Wow,
so I'm a designer, so it'll be great to put your work to work.
Wow. Okay. Yes. Great. Well, yeah. Like I was saying, I guess Bert then paid for, I mean, a significant number of bolts. So we've got yards and yards of this stuff. So if you want to pick stuff out, and then we can head over to my supplier, and we can get you all set up.
And she's just like nodding furiously, and then like as like her eyes just drop lower and lower to the giant book, as she's just fastidiously just turning over every page and like examining the samples and like picking up the book and looking at the colors of the fabrics and the light and touching it and everything.
Yeah, and he will get as nerdy as you are willing to let him about the printed patterns and like the different materials and the blends and like why he did what and what this is good for. He seems super into making fabric, so he'll keep going. And at some point, too, he tries to order a coffee from Tandy, but we'll see.
Yeah. And yeah, she will definitely nerd out over just like, every facet of like, textile production and everything. And it's like, we'll ask him like, oh, like I've never felt like this texture like this before. Like, is this from some kind of fey creature that's
Mm-hmm.
nearby? Or like, do sheep have weird technicolor wool? Or, in all these weird questions.
Yeah, and he'll give you answer. Yeah, for sure. And you very quickly suss out he's also sort of new to the world of Fae
Mhm.
and Coven, and it does eventually come out that, yeah, he has been here with his dads now for only about 10 years or so. So
Mhm.
he's learning new things all the time, and, where he came from, there weren't a lot of these materials available. So, um, and yeah, as you continue to talk, he says, "Wow, I really wasn't expecting such a delightful conversation. Thanks. Not a lot of people are willing to, I guess, listen to what I have to say. Uh, it's
Yeah, and
nice.
she's definitely like very like, yeah, she's definitely kind of very dreamily like resting her chin on her hand up on the table, and she's just like, yeah, I've made some great friends here, but one of them is like was a soldier in the army, and the
Oh.
other one really likes cooking, and like we get along really great, but there's we haven't really found a lot in common to talk about, especially because, you know, our lives have just been really in a lot of danger since we've gotten here.
Oh, danger? Uh, uh, yeah. Well, I guess. I mean, that makes sense. Being in the wilds isn't.
Harry's.
Yeah, it's not exactly easy. I don't spend a lot of time outside of Coven. To be honest, I'm not much of a adventurer sort or anything. But well, I mean, if you ever need someone to talk to about the stuff or anything, I'm just I'm
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, she'll definitely like reach a hand over to his arm and be like, "Oh, where are you staying? It would be nice to make more friends here."
Yeah, I'm staying. So I live in an apartment. With my dad's, but I'm looking at getting my own place very soon. So actually, I've been doing a lot of business lately with you must know. I mean, Mistress Silk, the best dressmaker in Coven. I mean, well, really the only dressmaker in Coven. You've heard of her, right?
No.
Oh, you're like
I mean,
that
this is
new.
like really like my first day here. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Tell me everything.
okay. Well, I mean, she's fantastic, and I mean, she supplies, the sovereigns, the courtiers. She is the go-to, right? I mean, everyone on the Witches' Council, right? She is the main line to them. So I've been working with her, and actually working on a supplier deal. So I'm going to be her prime supplier, which means it's going to be a lot more, business out there and stuff. I would love to introduce you to her if you don't mind.
And she, will very playfully like slap his bicep and be like, "Oh my god, yes, I'll help you carry things. Let's go."
Okay. Yeah, this will be great. She's always looking for new designers. She does a lot of dress sales, and obviously she can't take all the orders. So this is great. Maybe we could even like work together or something.
Yeah, quickly immediately like things is like, "Oh my gosh, where's my purse?" And she, digs into her backpack, and she's like, I know. Oh, I did. I've even got my sketchbook with me with some of my, doodles of recent designs. All right. Oh, this is gonna be great.
Okay, great. Well then let's go. And he like throws back the rest of his coffee.
Mhm.
And just looks so excited.
Yeah, and Aoife will leave a picture of of like one of the pictures that she's done of like the flowers in the wilds on the table for Tandy for the drink.
Yeah, and he'll go, oh, that's nice. She'll love that. um, well, and he, goes and opens up the door for you. It like makes a little hand gesture.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. His dad's raised him right. Yeah, so you step out into, so now you've been talking for probably about an hour or so 11:30, like getting close to noon-ish. So people are drifting about the square, looking for lunch spots or finishing up, some shopping as they're going along. It's a very lovely, crisp fall day in Coven, and as you step out onto the street, Kel will, pull a hat out from his bag and put it on. It's like a very dapper, sort of almost like a fedora that sits very cutely between his like long, soft ears. And he offers you an arm.
Oh my god, Aoife is falling over herself and will gladly accept an arm to study herself.
Mm-hmm. And this dude is like 6'6", so it's funny and cute.
There's easily a 1.5 foot difference between them, which is adorable and comical.
Yeah, so he starts, strolling down the street with you, and he's one of those people who like gives a friendly nod to like everybody, and like smiles at people as they pass by. He's clearly very comfortable in this town and feels at home here. And you start to wind through the streets here, and he says, the shop isn't too far away. It's a nice little walk. So I hope you don't mind too much.
Oh no. I'm used to, I'm from back up the valley of Yolantano, and so, everything is nature walks and hikes and everything. So, wow. And I walked pretty much all the way here, so.
That's far. Yeah, I know that there are other furbolgs in the valley, but I came from the the islands to the east. So when I came out, it was on a boat, and that was a whole experience that I do not care to repeat. So it's the first time I'd ever been on a boat.
Been on a boat.
It's frightening. I wouldn't recommend it. But I mean, you, I guess,
she kind of nods, like I can see that.
Are like an adventurer though, and stuff, right? Is that why you're in danger, or are you just really are just unlucky?
She kind of like waves a hand at the thought of being called an adventurer, like that's absurd. And she says, "Well, I mean, I've walked all this way, and I left home, and I guess I did leave with the inkling of, of like starting a new adventure and a new sort of path in life and everything. But, I wouldn't exactly call myself an adventurer. Like, at the end of the day, I just want to have a shop and design dresses. I'm not looking to slay the great monsters of the kingdom or anything. I just, want to make a cozy living for myself and maybe a partner someday."
That sounds nice, he says, and sort of smiles and lapses into silence. Anyway, so
yeah, they do that. They do that. Like look at each other and like
look and look, hand on the face, like So what brought you to Coven? You said you walked here just into the Feywild?
Well, me and my friends, we met in an encampment in Arby, some nameless shithole, Arby encampment, outside of the, on the edge of the wilds, and it was one of those things where a thing led to another. Our girl went missing. We recovered her. We had to make a run for it and then she like leans in kind of conspiratorially. Corellin was after us, particularly with me being a fey creature. Ooh. And so we needed to get out of Dodge, and we ended up finding some directions to Coven. And So we've been about since then.
Wow, that's quite a story. The Krillins, those are those the Bell people, right?
Yeah, the assholes with the bells.
Oh yeah, my dads have told me about him.
Furbolg's
Ernie,
Fae?
I guess adjacent. Not technically. I don't know. Actually, let me, as Celeste, look. I don't think they are technically, but they seem very Fae-like.
I don't.
I don't believe they
They're very
are.
Fae-like. I don't recall.
Let me see. Let me see. Mm. I'm looking at D&D Beyond. They're like humble guardians, hidden shepherds. Look at these. Look at these cute little.
They're so wholesome. I've always
so
wanted to play a
wholesome.
Furbolg. I think they're so sweet.
So they. Oh, okay. They have a relation with elves. No, they're not actually Fey, but they are very like elf adjacent. So in standard 5e. So also, spoiler alert, in Venture Maidens, elves have nothing to do with Fey in terms of ancestry. There's actually a new elf variant in the Venture Maidens campaign guide that removes them from Fey altogether. Because Eldrin are Fey.
Very
so,
cool.
Yeah. Oh, Marie in chat says they're giant? Question mark. That feels more right, I think. But yeah, so they are not.
Yeah, nature giants.
Yeah, they are not Fey. But they're around a lot of the same like people and cultures and places. So yeah, he'll say. Well, honestly, it's. I've never had a great deal of success in the Empire. Just being a giant blue man. So
Sure.
I suppose I feel you on that a little bit. At least I really didn't quite belong anywhere for a really long time.
Well, you seem like you fit in really well here for what it's worth.
Yeah, I just had to go to another realm and get an adopted family and to sort of fit in. But I've been very lucky, and I'm glad I'm here now. Really glad I'm here now with you today. So I think it all worked out. Anyway, oh look, there's the shop. As he like points across the way. Oh my god, my LED light is going nuts. Here we go. Ooh, okay. So he points out a shop across the way that just says silk in a very like fancy kind of scrolled script. And you can see even from here, it's a very high-end shop. You can see the outside, it's all like beautiful red wood and like stained glass accents around the windows, around these like gorgeous, dress display windows where you can see, the latest like fashions displayed on these, models. And it does look like the curtains are drawn across most of like the doors and stuff, so you can still see the window displays. But it looks like the shop is closed from where you are. And Kel looks at it and then looks at you and says, well, that's odd. It looks closed, but I know today is inventory day, so and he goes up and kind of tries to stand up really tall and looks over, and the lights are on.
Well, if it's inventory day, maybe they're not taking any customers just to make it all easier. I mean, when you're the one person in town who makes the dresses, I'm pretty sure you can set your own hours. But I mean, let's give a knock, I suppose.
Yeah.
She'll go up to the
and you give a knock and nothing happens, and Kel eventually comes up and kind of tries the door, and it's locked. But well, I do have a key, but and he kind of knocks again and waits. Hmm.
Well, I mean, if they gave you a key, they trust you to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, mm-hmm. And he looks off to the side. There are these two like very like fancy planters, on either side of the door. And as he pops
Mhm.
down and looks, you can see there's actually some packages and like mail that have like been shoved behind. Uh, like it
Mm.
started to build up, and he's um okay. Well, I guess maybe I'll just bring this inside. That's fine.
Yeah, if we're taking stuff inside. If they're busy and in a meeting, then we'll see ourselves out. Maybe we'll be able to talk to them later. I mean, there's no harm in checking, I suppose, right?
Right. Okay. Right. And he, gathers up all of the mail, and then he's holding the book and struggling, and he,
Yeah, and
in his,
she'll help pick up as many like
yeah,
packages and
thank
letters
you.
as
Okay,
possible.
thank you. And he's like digging around in his pockets, and he pulls out, a little like delicate golden key that matches the door frame, and turns the handle, and opens it up, and he makes sure to run around and open it so you can step inside while he's holding everything, trying to take things from you.
She like with her like a very precariously loose hand, she'll swat him away like he's fine,
mm.
and she'll just look for the nearest counter and like shove it all onto.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you step inside, you can see, yeah, all of the lights have been left on. And there are all these, arcane glowing orbs that are around this shop here. And the front of the shop is a very, posh sort of lounge vibe where you can see there are more of these mannequins and lots of like mirrors and, low coffee tables where people can sit and like consult and, talk with each
Mm-hmm.
other. This is more of an experience, a shopping experience, than it is like an in and out kind of store. And there is the long counter towards the front where maybe like a receptionist would sit, so you can
Mm-hmm.
easily put down the packages and stuff there. There is a curtained area that probably leads towards dressing rooms, and you can see there is a door that is marked swirling like employees only there as you step inside.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole place is done with, reds and purples and very like thick, luxurious fabrics, just making people feel both like they're in a nice place, but also a sort of a place you want to stay, is the vibe you're getting here. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and as you set down the packages and stuff, Aoife, you will see that on this receptionist counter, there are books that are open. It looks like accounting books and receipts from the day, and like a cup of tea that is
Mm-hmm.
half drunk. You can see like the lipstick on the edge of the brim, just all kind of lying scattered out there.
She'll go over and touch the cup and see like how warm it is.
It's very cold. It's been there for a while.
Yeah, and she'll after she sets everything down, takes a moment to look around, and she'll say, well, this is all very odd. Like with all the mail that was piled up outside with this cold tea, it seems like it's been at least a day, probably more since anyone stopped by. That seems rather odd.
Um, yeah, she's pretty meticulous about staying open and very busy. This doesn't. Hmm. And why would she leave the lights on? If she was gone.
Yeah, that does strike me as it's kind of a red flag. And she'll head over first to the curtained area and see, if any sign of people in the dressing fitting room area.
Yeah, you look in there and no, and it's all tidied up too, as if maybe somebody has already cleaned it, like you would during like closing.
Mm-hmm.
So, all of the garments that might
And
have been
she
back there are, back, and there aren't any bags or anything left back there.
And she, look around and she's like, it's as if they've closed the business and then haven't been back for a few days. And she'll head over to the door that's labeled employees only and give the handle a test.
Yeah, and it opens up. It is unlocked, and you can see that the back of the shop, which must at least take up half the building. This is one of those buildings like in a city. It's attached to businesses on either side, but it's a very long building. And as you step back there, you do see like a seamstress's workshop. In one corner there's like a desk with more and more books and business implements you can see, but the majority of this room is like the long sewing work tables. You can see dress mannequins that have different things pinned up to them. The walls are filled with designs and concepts and boards, and you can see sewing implements and like a spinning wheel in the corner, and like tons and tons of these tall shelves just full of bolts of fabric. And as you peek inside there, there doesn't seem to be anyone. But Kel from behind you goes, well, all my fabrics are up over there. So that's what I was going to show you. But this, I don't think she's here either. There is a downstairs, like a loading area.
Oh. In the back half of the workshop, is that all illuminated too, or is it dark?
It's illuminated. Like, yeah, like,
okay,
somebody was here. So maybe like closing was done, but somebody was still here doing work, but then just disappeared.
Interesting. And so yeah, she'll we'll take a look around, and she says, well, downstairs, you say. Well, it doesn't seem like there's anyone here, so I guess let's check there.
Yeah. And the door was locked, right? So she's got to be in here?
I mean, someone left, or either maybe she left and forgot to turn off all the lights, or is still here. It's rather odd. She kind of shrugs and shakes off like a bad feeling that passes over her.
Yeah, it is. It's creepy. It's it's weird. And so he moves over towards a corner and lifts up like a trap door that leads down to another level. And the lights are on there as well. And he says, I will go first.
And she says, oh no, let the brave adventurer go first.
No, I would never be able to live it down if I let you go first. So I'm sure Bert would just never let and he like takes off
she
the
gestures with her hand like after you.
And he takes off the big like backpack he's been carrying around, and you can see those like large rolls and tubes. He probably has fabric in there that he's already sat down and it plunks, and he climbs down the ladder, kind of squeezing his large body to get through the trap as he goes down. Okay, well, this door down here is definitely locked, and I do not have a key.
And Aoife's like, oh, damn, I know someone who could burst it open, but perhaps we could, maybe the keys are out here somewhere. And she'll start looking around through all the bits and bobs.
Yeah, where do you want to look?
I think she would first head towards the desk, because that's, in someone's workstation, that's probably going to be where you're going to be able to keep, like, where you're probably most likely to keep the important things and, start looking through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Start rifling through, the main desk space in there.
Yeah, go ahead and make me an investigation check to see if you can find this key.
What is okay. Natural 20 for a total of 22.
Of course. It wouldn't be a Sage episode without a natural 20. So you do the thing where you like sit down at the desk and you're looking at the station like, okay, if I was a person here, if I was a dressmaker, and you kind of start fiddling with stuff around, and you do see one, it all seems very neat, very organized, very sleek, modern, but one thing kind of stands out to you as just a little bit weird. It's like this little ceramic, it's like a spider, like on a mushroom. It's very cute. It's like a little cute googly eye spider thing, just in one corner. That just seems so out of place amidst all the other like high end, modern woman business desk features.
And she'll reach out towards it and pick it up and try to test it all like the different joints to see if it opens somehow, or if there's anything that slides, if the cap of the mushroom slides off. Or...
Yeah. And as you're like fiddling with it, you pick it up and there's like a rattling from inside it, and you very quickly find there is like a little panel in the bottom. So it's one of those like stupid key hide sculpture things, like putting a key in a gnome, like kind of thing. So you can very quickly open that up, and you see a like small, metal key falls out.
She'll swirl around and call out, "Found it!" and run over towards them with the key in hand and try to shove it in the lock and test it to see if it works.
Yeah, and you do. Yeah, you climb down as well, and this area is definitely like a storage space. So you see, it's just a lot of furniture that maybe isn't in use, or like seasonal items, that they tuck away, or seasonal decoration. So basically, like a little garage kind of space down here. And this door is a very solid, metal affair. So it would have been very difficult to knocked down. You can see that Kel was kind of looking at it, trying to figure out if he could or not. He seems very grateful when you come with the key. And as you turn it, and he says, I've never actually been down here. I don't know why. I wonder what this could possibly be.
Well, I mean, if it's inventory day, maybe they're, doing a, full yearly count of things, and she'll, call out into the room and she'll whisper, wait, what was the lady's name again?
Oh, Silk, Mistress Silk.
Oh, Mistress Silk. Okay. Mistress Silk, are you in? She will call out.
Yeah, and he waits as well, like politely for the moment. No, I don't think so. Okay, let's just go in. Yeah, so
she'll wait for him.
Yeah, open up the door, and what you see is it's a very, very small, almost like the size of a janitor's closet in front of you. But as you open it up, there's that shocking moment where you're like, oh my god, it's me reflected at myself, and the light is weird and strange, and as you open it up, you realize that there is a very large mirror on the far side of this. It's like a very ornately carved golden standing mirror on the far side of this small space. And so it's the big mirror, and you can see that there is like a black velvet cloth that it's normally covered by that has been pulled to the floor and is kind of bunched around this mirror here. And hanging on the walls are a bunch of different, it's like a cork board and like a calendar and some other like sheafs of paper adorning the walls. And that's what you see. So, you and Kel standing there like, squeezed in the door are staring back at yourselves in this mirror.
And definitely as like the first glint of a reflection, she kind of like jumps a little bit and then steadies herself, and she's like, oh, okay, never mind. She we'll look at the mirror, and we'll get real close up to it, and she's like, wow, this is really beautiful. It's a shame that it's not displayed out there in the fitting rooms. Like, this it's gorgeous. And she's gonna reach out and touch it.
Yeah, and you do. Yeah, it's beautiful, well made, heavy. You think it probably weighs a couple 100 pounds at least. But yeah, you touch it and you're touching your own reflection.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is
And
weird. Why would you put a mirror down here? Maybe it's magic? It's probably magic, right? I mean, mirrors, fae, that's a thing, right? That's a thing? He looks at you.
she nods like, "Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it's not the magic that I'm terribly good at, but I know it exists. Here, help me pull it out. Maybe we can get a better look at it.
Yeah, and you do.
We'll pull
And
off the rest of the velvet cover and
yeah, you pull it, and it's an effort as you go. I mean, you can tell he's strong. He's huge. He's strong, but even he's like as he scoots it, and you can tell you're doing very little of the moving as he drags it out. Um, yeah, so you can look behind it, and as you do, you see that there is like a sticker label that has been put on the back. And there are all of these
mhm.
different columns, like a spreadsheet, with numbers and names listed on them
Hmm.
that have been like filled in by hand.
Interesting.
Do you need
Do all of
more,
the
or he's asking as like he's turned it to the side and he's kind of going, do we need to get it further out of the room, or is that
oh, and she'll just like lean it up against the door frame.
okay? Okay, yeah.
And then we'll look at like prop it up in like in the middle of the door so that they could like move it back and forth to either look at the front or the back. And looking at the back with the names, like, does it look like the names have all been like written with the same handwriting, or does it look like it's been written by different people?
It does look like all the same handwriting. A kind of nice, like cursive, sophisticated handwriting.
Hmm. And having, well, Eva would know anyone like necessarily of important within the courts, but if this, I don't know. She'll turn to Kells and she'll say, "You've been here for a minute and you seem like you know everyone. Do any of these names seem familiar to you?"
Um. Okay. Yeah. Let me see. And he looks and kind of reads them and takes a minute. Um. Some of them sound familiar. I'm pretty sure I've heard. He leans down and again like shooshes that big flop of like black hair that keeps falling in his face. Um.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure a few of these are I think these are customers. At least a couple of these. The names seem familiar. I think they've either been here or she's worked with them before. Um, sorry, I'm sort of new. I'm pretty sure I've heard some of these names before, at least.
And she'll wave a hand like, "Oh no, it's fine. That what would a list of customer names on the back of a really heavy mirror? Like, what an odd place to put it. Unless it's like, I mean, the only place where if you're concealing a list of names of people in a closet that's underground, uh, on the back of a strange heavy mirror, like, these are people who maybe owe money, who owe favors, who have maybe wronged the mistress. Like, this is not a great list to be on, I imagine."
Yeah, or maybe it's like a like a programming thing. Like if the mirror can because like the lights are on, so maybe she was in here, and then
Perhaps.
and he
Just gonna
starts
like stand squarely in front of me.
Oh yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
he starts looking around at the things on the walls, like the calendars and the papers and stuff, trying to like see what. So you stand Peter Pan style. Is what.
Oh yeah, squarely in front of the mirror, and she's gonna say like the first name on the list, and like stand in front of the mirror like a command.
Yeah, and you do, and it's something like feather bloom or some fey bullshit. And so you stand in front of the mirror, and as you say this name, the surface of the mirror shimmers, and you see a different place inside. You don't see yourself reflected in it. You see like this beautiful, fairy glade beyond, with these like bioluminescent mushrooms and this waterfall like coursing through. So this other place appears. And Kel goes, "Whoa! Oh, okay. That's how it works."
And she's gonna look mighty proud of herself, and she's like, okay, so it's magical, it's used for scrying maybe, so if these might be people's true names that are on the back, which is something, certainly in this town. And then she's gonna say Mistress Silk and see if anything happens.
Yeah, and as you do, nothing happens.
And
you do note that Mistress Silk was not one of the names listed on the back of the mirror.
Okay. And so she'll look at the very last name that's on the list, and she'll say that one.
Yeah, and the image flickers again and changes to like this view of like a dingy, dark, maybe castle or something as you're looking through. And again, there's no people in the mirror. And then Kel will say, "Hey, isn't this one of the names?" And he's like pointing at one of the calendars like on the walls of this. And he's like, this name, that was a couple days ago. So maybe this was the last one? And he points
look on the back and check.
Yeah, and yeah, you're looking at the calendar and you look at the name, and yeah, it looks like the name Edwin. There's on the calendar it says Edwin Consult. That's like 2 days ago listed on her appointment on the calendar. So
yeah, and she'll stand in front of the mirror, and she'll say Edwin Consult.
It seems to flicker when you say Edwin, as if that was the name on the back. Consult seems to be abbreviated for consultation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, the image flickers, and you can see reflected on the other side. It looks like a workshop of some kind. You can see a lot of the implements that you might expect from the seamstresses' places upstairs, but there are also like wood carving pieces, and you can see like in the distant shadowy kind of figures, almost like dolls, maybe lined up. It's hard to see because the room appears to be dark on the other side.
And she'll look at Kels and she'll say, "Well, it seems like the last time she was here a couple days ago, maybe she's in this workshop space." And Aoife will reach out to touch the surface of the mirror.
And as you do, you feel your fingers start to move through it, like you're moving through almost like jelly, right? So it's elastic. So definitely if you put enough force, you could absolutely step through this mirror.
And she'll, with her hand half extended through, she'll turn and she'll look at him and she'll offer him her hand to be like, "Let's do this, look."
And he looks at you and he goes, "Okay, wait. And he holds up a finger and looks around, and then, hang on, I'll be right, and like looks around outside. You can hear him like rooting around for something, and he comes back with like a very thick wooden dowel, you know, that you might wrap fabric around, and like holding it like a bat, and he's like, okay. and he takes your hand. Like he's ready.
Oh my god. Love it. So in love.
Oh boy.
And yep, with that, she'll take his hand and she will step through.
Yeah, you like move through the mirror, you know, in that very weird slow motion way, as you feel, you know, the magic of this mirror bring you somewhere else, and you step out into this workshop. So I need a little drink refill, so I don't know about you, Sage, but I might throw up a BRB screen if we want to like get a little refill and come right back.
Ooh, yeah, that is an excellent idea.
Okay. All right, everybody, we're going to throw up a BRB screen, and we're going to be back in like 5 minutes, so at 47, and we'll see what's in this super fun workshop that's definitely not spooky. Okay, see you in 5, everybody! back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back from break. Oh, hey, Raiders, just in time. Welcome. We just stepped through a magic mirror, and we're gonna play some D&D in this very cool, totally not spooky place. It'll be great. Oh wait, did I transition? Oh man. Oh, there it is. Okay, all right. Just showed up on Twitch. I was like, oh no. Okay, all right. So yeah. So you just stepped through the mirror in the basement of this dressmaker shop, this strange cordoned off mirror. And the room that you arrive in is, now you can see it, a lot better that you are through it. You're not just seeing a two-dimensional image of it. It's quite a large workshop. You can see, lots of these wooden tables that have all kinds of wood carving and fabric implements and paints, and now that you're looking at it, a lot of stuff that one might need to make toys or dolls, specifically, as you are now looking in the space and your eyes kind of travel up and you can see, outside the frame of the mirror, there are hundreds of these little porcelain dolls that are just ringing around the room, displayed, in full. Around the top of this place, you can see that there are two large windows. Wherever you are, it appears to be maybe evening or twilight, close to that time. But you can see that there are dark storm clouds that have rolled in, and every once in a while, this blue flash of lightning kind of illuminates the whole room. There are no other lights present other than that ambient darkness from outside. And as you scan around, the shadowy space, you turn, that 360 to the place you couldn't see, from the other side of the mirror. And on the far side of the room, there is a table that has something on it, like a antique sewing machine, one of those foot pedal machines. And there is a figure that is slumped over it. It looks like sleeping, maybe, but she appears to be dressed in all black, and you can see long black hair, plastered to her face and the side. And she seems to have passed out against this thing. And you see a silver glint by her wrist, and this machine. And just as you take that in, there's a rush of motion from one of the corners that catches your attention. And you track it, and there's that flash that comes from outside, and illuminates the room very sharply in that blue, and whatever was moving, you can no longer see it. And the patter of rain starts to fall against the window.
It's completely involuntarily, still holding on to Kel's hand, and she just squeezes so tight.
Yeah, and he stands closer to you and is like, I gotcha.
And so looking around, since we came through this mirror, do we see any, I don't know what the word is, but see anything left of the mirror? Do we see where we came from? Or have we just walked through a portal and it's gone behind us?
Yeah, it looks like you've just stepped through into the middle of this room. There is no other signs of a mirror or anything here. It's you've just poof appeared in this room.
Okay. Aoife, before we head over, having gotten the feeling of something in this room and does not know what else could be in here, she's going to take this instance to cast See Invisibility.
Oh, okay. Why don't you read me that real quick?
So for the duration, 1 hour, you see invisible creatures and objects as if they were visible, and you can see into the ethereal plane. Ethereal creatures and objects appear ghostly and translucent.
Okay. Yeah, so you take a quick scan around the room, and nothing pings on your radar. You're looking. There don't seem to be any invisible creatures here.
She'll kind of steady herself, and she'll say, and she'll lean over towards Kel, and she'll ask, "Is that the mistress? I've never seen her before."
I mean, it looks like her. she wears a lot of black and has black hair. We should probably check on her.
Yeah, she nods.
Yeah, and he strides forward quickly, now that he's got like an adventurer's permission, as he's moving across the space. And as he goes and kind of touches her shoulder, and you see there's like a shudder and a cough. And Aoife, from somewhere, you see like the flash of silver as this tiny figure launches itself towards Kel and like digs this large pin into his back. And it looks like a sewing needle on like, whoa, on a huge industrial machine. And he goes, ah! Like as this happens, and I need y'all to roll some initiative.
Oh, yeah. Yes. As soon as she sees this silvery blur, she is like running towards him.
No! All right. Initiative. Let's see. Oh, boy. Oh, Kel. Sweet baby.
Oh, that is a 7 for Aoife.
Oh, that's good. Not okay. Let's see. 7 for Aoife. Oh wow, Kel beat you. That's not super helpful, but okay. Here we go. All right. And then Sage, why don't you give me a detail about this thing that just attacked Kel? Mm-hmm. It appears to be a doll. You can see as it lifts, there's like that weird like creaking sound as it lifts the arm that it digs into his back. So this tiny little, porcelain face is now stabbing this silver needle repeatedly into your new friend. So what about this doll? Defining feature, please.
It's in a sailor's outfit.
Oh yeah, a little sailor doll. Oh, it's a little sailor scout. Glad Nassim's not here. She'd be so mad. I made that the villain. Okay. All right, so this little sailor scout is like digging this needle into Kel, who is like, get it off! And like trying to reach his like big, arms to try and like rip at this thing. And he has to make a saving throw real quick. Okay. And yeah, as this thing is stabbing in, he was like, there's something weird about, and he kind of like steadies himself and rips this thing off of his back and, slams it down onto the table directly in front of him. But the doll seems to bounce off the tabletop and like skitters away, under it. And he's like, what is going on? Oh my god. And that will bring us to Kel, who will continue to reach out and like shake this woman on the table, and you hear the Kel from this figure. And as she turns her face up, you can see that the black hair on her body has been plastered to her face with sweat. And you're not sure if it's like something affecting her or not, but she is like deathly white. Like all of the color has been drained from her body. And as you look at her, Aoife, her eyes, instead of where there would be normal like human pupils or iris, there are like 2 red hourglasses. She looks up. What are you doing here? And you can see now too, she pulls at her wrist and there's like a pair of silver handcuffs that seem to have like chained her to this table that she's like feebly struggling against. And then Aoife, we come to you.
She is definitely going to take like a defensive stance around Kel, and she is going to yeah, we just saw that one doll skitter off, but if let's see here. Yeah, unfortunately, we're not a cleric, so we can't do anything about them curses.
Damn.
Damn! Remove curses, a level 3
Welcome,
spell.
Onyx Path. We're fighting haunted dolls. Welcome, Raiders.
Oh man. Oh boy, everyone loves a haunted doll.
See, this is why I was trying to like content warnings, possession without giving away haunted dolls.
Yeah.
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 You know.
She is going to ready a thunder wave so that if
Ooh.
any dolls come within 15 feet of her, that she is gonna, make this stomp and try and propel them backwards.
Cool. All right. Yeah, and you do not have long to wait as you see from darting under one of the tables a different one of these dolls just comes running for you, and it's that very jagged motion of like not having real tendons or anything as this thing launches towards you, and you can see another of those gigantic silver needles held in its hand. And give me some details about this one. What's up with this doll? Interesting feature.
This one looks like a little lion.
Oh, little lion man. Okay, we're gonna name him Mumford. This is Mumford. Is running at you with this big silver needle. So as this is happening, go ahead. Your action goes off. So I make a save. Yes,
Con save.
Con save. I'm
DC 14.
Doll. So I fail absolutely. Mumford totally fails. So what happens?
All right, so you're going to take 2d8 thunder damage, and you are going to be pushed back. And push back 10 feet. So it'll be 7 thunder damage at Mumford here. As she stomps her hoof, and like the ground ripples up and like spikes him.
And you do, and you see, little glass pieces of this face, dressed in this like lion costume, almost like Wizard of Oz, like theater production lion costume. Pieces of porcelain get blown out of its face, so you just see like this weird, chipped appearance as one of the eyes like flies off, and the doll gets pushed backwards this distance, but it picks itself back up and just lets out this sound and prepares to run at you once again. So it was pushed back 10 feet?
10 feet, yep.
Okay. It has still got more than enough movement as this like fractured face comes lunging towards you through the dark, and it is going to hit you with its silver needle. So, oh boy, that's definitely going to hit you with a 16?
That will indeed hit.
Okay. All right, so you're going to take 1 piercing damage plus 4 necrotic damage, and I need you to save on a charisma saving throw for me, please. Lucky you, Bard.
Thankfully, we're good at that. Oh, hell yeah, that's 18 plus 6 for 24. Let's go.
Yeah. So you also feel, and this is what Kel must have been talking about, something weird moves over you, and you can tell it was some kind of magic something, almost something like tugging at your soul is like the only way you can kind of describe it. But you soldier through whatever that feeling is, as Kel did, and stay in place here. So you managed to make that save, and so with that we come to now this woman who's been slumped over on the table. She seems to be starting to regain a little bit more of her consciousness, and she hisses, for lack of a better word. Those things, they killed him. They killed him. We have to get out of here. I don't know what happened, but it's bad. Get me out of here. She's like trying to like struggle against the handcuffs on the table here. And you can see her like canine teeth are growing into very sharp fangs as she is like seeming to panic and struggle.
Okay. All right. Looking around this room real quick, are there doors leading off from here that we can see?
Yes, so it does look like there is one door that's like a true door, and then the one side of the wall close to that door as well is an entire row of like cabinets, like floor to ceiling wall cabinets that you could open up, like
Okay.
wardrobes kind of lined up end to end. So maybe there are craft supplies or something else in there, but there are a lot of freaking doors. And actually, Aoife, you would probably notice as you're looking around, one of those doors has a broom that's been shoved through the handles of it, like a sweeping broom.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
And with that, we're gonna bounce back up here. And Aoife, you appear to be the largest threat in this room since you are clearly magic. So all of a sudden, a little sailor scout pops out from behind this table and is trying to stab at you. And Kel's like, watch out! Just like too late as it is also trying to attack you with this giant silver needle. Ooh, boy, 20 to hit. We're rolling hot there. So that's going to be another piercing damage. So 1. And then 4 more necrotic damage. And I need you to make that charisma saving throw for me again.
All right. Okay, that is an 18.
All right. So once again, that feeling passes over you, but you manage to fight through whatever the hell this is. These silver needles are clearly not just needles. And that is going to bring us to Kel, who brings down the edge of this dowel and like smashes it, trying to hit just this sailor scout thing that just popped out again. And he does. He brings it down, slams it onto this thing's head, nice. And there's a very satisfying like crunching sound as he does so. But the thing, even though its face is like split in half and now hanging on the edges of that like little jaunty sailor cap, it seems to still stand back up and wield that needle again. He's like, I think we should leave, he says, as we come to your turn, Aoife.
So the mistress, she's chained to the desk with these chains, right? So Aoife is going to use Aoife's going to use her action to look for a key, or 2 to look for something like a hammer in order to be able to try and break them, because we're not leaving without her.
Yeah. And I'll give this to you as a bonus action for this. You know, you can look around the room and do a quick scan. And you can see, I mean, there were on the tables all around you. This is a very active workshop, and somebody has clearly not put away whatever they were working on. So you can see like pretty heavy mallets and stuff you might use to, you know, hammer things. So there are a couple different implements you can easily grab, you know, something at least sharp and, you know, with a lot of force to work on this, the handcuffs.
Yeah, she'll grab a set of them. She'll toss one towards Kel, and she'll, you know, with her wee baby arms, will try and strike these chains to break them.
Sweet summer child. You know, Kel will say before you like do it, he's like, you know what? I got it. You do your magic, so that's better. He says, and like prepares. He's gonna work on breaking the chains with his giant, you know, Furbolg strength. So don't worry about it, Aoife. You can do an action.
Perfect. She'll turn to the towards the sailor scout with its needle drawn, and she'll look at it and she'll point it and she'll say, "I bet you can't even swim," as she casts vicious mockery on it.
Can't swim. Oh no, it's one weakness. Water.
I needed to make a wisdom saving.
Oh my god, as a porcelain tear rolls down its cheek. Yeah. No. 12? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
So you'll take 2 psychic damage, and you have disadvantage on the next attack roll that it makes.
Oh geez. As you hit it with the psychic damage, though, that doesn't seem to do anything to this little construct that kind of its neck and looks back up at you. But it will take the disadvantage on its next turn.
All right, well, we'll take it. Yeah, that is, and then she will reach out to Kells, and as you know, she'll stuff into his pocket a little felt blue moon as she gives him a bardic inspiration.
Yeah, you do, and you like reach your hand in his pocket. He's like, "Whoa, thank you."
It's
Okay.
good luck. It'll save your life someday.
I'm sorry I didn't get you anything. As he keeps like whacking the hammer down on this chain. Oh boy, it's like bringing a commoner to a zombie movie right now. is what is happening. He's doing surprisingly well considering. Okay, so anything else for you, Aoife?
Nope, that's fair.
All right, then Mumford is gonna fly out of the darkness, flanking now with the Sailor Scout here, attacking. This one, I think he's gonna try and attack. I think because Kel is starting to hammer at the handcuffs. The dolls do not seem to like that. So he is gonna come in and try and hit Kel. Oh God, they're rolling hot on the attacks. Unfortunately, ooh, max damage. Okay. So this thing like jumps through and it flies up and digs the silver needle like right through Kel's hands, like as he is holding, the hammer. And there is like a spray of blood that comes out, and Kel yelps. Let's see if he can. He keeps control of his shit though, and he's like, get off! I'm busy! And like throws his arm, and with his great like innate strength, the doll goes flying back about 20 feet, and there's like a smashing sound as it hits one of the windows. The window hasn't broken, but the doll bounces off of it, and there is, the spider crack fractures on the big panes of glass. He's like, damn it! He's trying to like hammer at this thing faster, and blood is just spurting out of his hand. Okay, and then Aoife, we come back to you. Oh, sorry, that was the actually Mistress Silk, so she is like watching Kel try and do this, and this little doll now, the Sailor Scout one, is still stabbing by you, and she like. She looks at it and is realizing kind of the situation and calms down for the first time since waking up. And she fixes this thing, with her red hourglass eyes. And she opens her mouth and you see her jaw like distends in this very freaky kind of way. And there's like a sound that she makes from the back of her throat. And this like white thread shoots out of her mouth as she like vomits it onto this doll thing, and like you see it adheres down to the ground, and the doll is like trying to struggle as she seems to have spat this web like material at this doll.
Nice.
So it is not in good shape. So that is that. And then yes. Oh, the Sailor Scout now is coming back as it runs over. Combat goes so fast when you only have two people. My God. It's like all my NPCs. It's just me running this combat. I'm sorry, Sage. Wow.
So, it's great. There's a lot happening. I like it.
Okay. And the Sailor Scout goes, friends, and hits you with a fucking 18, because damn.
Damn, even with disadvantage?
Yeah. I don't know why. I never roll this well ever. It's you. You've challenged me, Sage.
It's true.
Okay. So 2 piercing damage, plus 4 necrotic damage. Make me that sweet, sweet charisma save.
17.
17. Oh shit. Yeah, you fine. So this is, stabbing at you, and you are just weathering the best of it. And Kel finally, on his turn, brings down this hammer, right at the wrong place in this handcuff, and you hear a shattering sound. And finally, it looks like Mistress Silk can actually like pull her hand away as one end of the handcuff swings, and she rubs at it and starts trying to stand up. So she is free, which brings us to you, Aoife. What are you doing?
Okay. We are going to, let's see here. concentration? That's not concentration. Okay, that's good to know. Let's see.
So it looks like Mumford is grappled, which means Mumford cannot move. But the Sailor Scout doll is still free and clear.
All right. She is going to throw a Cure Wounds on herself because she's honestly hurting a bit. And then she will give another bardic inspiration to the mistress, which is a little pot of gold.
Oh. She says thanks.
That'll be her turn, and let's see how much we heal up for.
Nice.
Let's see. Ooh, that's pretty good. That's 9. Nice. All right. Fighting fit again.
Okay. All right. Mumford is struggling against the webbing, trying to escape, and wastes its action doing so, but gets a natural 20. So it uses its whole turn to like shred at it, and as it's like moving its little doll arms and like zipping at it with the needle, it cuts through the webbing. And the mistress is like as the doll manages to escape here. And as we come to her turn, she's going to stand up shakily from the table. It looks like she's exhausted. Like she's probably been here for the entirety of the 2 days, maybe without eating or real rest or anything. And as she does, you know, she puts an arm out, and Kel will kind of stabilize her. And she says, "We have to get to the mirror. We have to get out of here." And she looks over towards that cabinet that has the broom inside it. And she starts to hobble her way over there. Sailor Scout, up to our turn. So Sailor Scout is going to attack. Let's see. Probably Kel. Is trying to take the mistress away. Oh my god, another 20. What's going on? Okay. And digs into Kel with this big needle. Oh no, Kel. Oh no. Oh, I'm gonna use my bardic inspiration. Okay. Just barely. What does your bardic inspiration do to... Oh, by the way, so these silver needles, if you fail a charisma saving throw, you become cursed and super baned and basically vulnerable for these dolls to take over your body. So what is it? What is it about your charm that saves Kel from this horrible fate?
So as the Sailor Scout, it's like plunging its needle into it, and then where she had shoved it into his pocket, suddenly it just emits with this like just bright, blinding light, that just like, you know, with like the pure light of love and friendship, and it just sort of like, you know, makes him throw his head back as like repelling this curse.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, as you do, and the doll is like, you know, it's trying to push the needle, and it's like getting blown backwards. And Kel just like looks at you again, golden eyes through the shining light. And he looks at you with just such a look of pure adoration without saying anything. And it's all just a moment, you know, as this happens, and like the light goes, and he tries to catch this like woman who's like dragged on the side and dragging her to the body, but you know, it seemed to last for a very long time, you know, between you two, the eye contact, and very meaningful.
And since he used it on a saving throw, he'll get temporary hit points equal to 4 plus whatever you rolled on the die. So
that is neat.
Reinvigorated,
because he poor baby did not have a lot of hit points, so that is great. That is great news for Cece. Okay. Yeah, so Kel is okay. He's not possessed by a goddamn haunted doll. Good news. Good news, everyone. So then Aoife, we come to you.
All right, so with Mumford and the Sailor Scout here, she is going to look at them with just the utmost ire and disgust, and she is going to cast Bane on them. So I need them to make, oh goodness, what is it? A charisma saving throw.
Oh, Oh, they have a shockingly high amount of charisma, but
DC 14.
okay, yep, a 12 and a 4. So, nope. Hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no. You're too
Get that.
powerful. Your 18 charisma is too powerful.
So yes, they get a minus a D4 to every D20 roll that they make, and yeah, she's running forward, and she'll like push herself underneath the mistress's other arm to help them like hobble along faster towards this broom closet, or towards this closet with the broom that's shoved into the handles.
Yeah. And yeah, you do, and so your magic blasts back over these two dolls that are picking up their pieces literally and trying to come after both of you here. And as you hobble towards this door, Silk reaches out her hand and just like pulls on this broom with a strength she should not possess by any means, and it fractures and the doors swing open, and this body falls out of this cabinet here. It seems to be like an elderly man, maybe in his 60s or 70s, and it looks like both of his eyes have been stabbed out with these large needles, and just like these puncture wounds throughout his body as it falls out and crumples against the ground. So that's like one little traumatic moment, but then just behind it you can see in the wardrobe a shining silver floor-to-ceiling mirror. And she says, "Silk, Silk, Silk," over and over again. And as the surface of the mirror begins to change, and you can all like heave yourselves through it, just as these dolls on the other side are starting to you hear their pattering little feet. And as you land on the other side, and she quickly turns and touches the face of the mirror, just as this frozen, the doll's face charging towards you, it goes flat once again, and it's just your normal reflections. You all see all of you there looking miserable, covered in blood,
yeah, just leaning up against the wall, just heaving big heaving breaths, oh my god, do I have all of my fingers?
Yeah.
Immediately look to the mistress and is like, are you injured? Can I offer you some healing? Kel, I know that you're injured, and she'll reach out a cure wounds to him,
and she steadies herself against the wall as you're looking, and she's, "I am hungry, but I don't think that's something you can help me with. Anyhow, who are you, my dear? You, Kel, what? My fabric guy? She hisses again and kind of looks at you expectantly, Aoife.
She says, Kel is a recent business partner of mine. I'm a dress designer, part-time adventurer, I suppose you could say, and Kel was bringing me here to show me some fabric samples for an order I had placed, and everything in this in your shop seemed off, and we found this mirror and just felt the inkling that maybe something worse had happened to you. And so, well, luckily I'm a nosy older sibling, so we went poking around and fortunately found you. Was that Edwin? What? And then she holds up her hands and shakes them never mind, you don't have to explain to me, but I'm glad we found you when you did.
No, it's fine. Please, if you would, just go upstairs for a moment and take Kel with you. I need a moment to collect myself, but I would like to speak to you.
Certainly, we'll be waiting in the reception area. Come, and she'll gesture let's get out of here.
Yeah, and Kel is just like, what's going on? And he's like, and holding, still his hand is shaking as he's clutching that, that giant dowel that's now covered in, his own blood and porcelain dust. So you kind of guide him up the stairs, and the trapdoor, closes behind you, and you hear a couple weird thumps and a dragging sound, maybe something is moving something large and a couple other weird sounds coming from down below. And then after about 10 minutes or so, you hear a pop of the trapdoor. Was there anything you were saying in the meantime?
She'll lead him like over to the the very nice like velvety couches, and she'll take the dowel out of his hand and like put it on the ground, and she'll take his hands and be like, see, you could be adventurer too. You did great. You smacked those right up.
Nope, that doesn't sound pleasant at all. Thank you. Nope.
Well, I don't blame you.
I mean, I guess if I'm happy I was there, but wow. So you just do this kind of stuff, and also design clothes, and that's just, you're just like a superhero? Is that the deal?
And she looks at him and she's like, I'll be honest, how you feel is how I feel all the time. I'm just really grateful that my friends are like really capable people.
You're like alive. Magic and stuff. What do you mean? You're the most capable person I've ever met in my life. It's amazing.
She very meekly sort of brushes her hair behind like her ears, and she's like, no, it was nothing. I'm just glad you're alive.
Yeah, and he does this gesture where he puts his ears like down by his side because they're flexible like a goat ears or something.
Yeah, we both got like the little goat ears.
Yeah, yeah, and he puts them down. And he's just like, I can't even. Wow, I mean, what? Wow, he seems to be having he's processing everything when that the trapdoor sound kind of closes, and you hear the click of high-end fashion heels coming through the other side of the door, and Mistress Silk steps through, looking much more rosy and normal in complexion and more relaxed than she was before, but still the red hourglass eyes fixate on you. And she says, thank you for coming to get me. I don't think I would have lasted much longer against those things. This was a good lesson why you don't always do house calls. She comes over and says, and I've also lost one of my best clients. So.
Ooh, that is terrible.
Yes, I don't know what Edwin was into, but clearly it went awry. I was working on pieces for him, though I suppose I can't say it's much of a loss making outfits in miniature. Absolutely horrendous. I'm sure you're a designer, right?
Yes, I am. I don't have like my full portfolio with me, but these are some sketches that I've done, and she'll pull it out of her bag and flip to the most recent page.
Well, and she takes the time and she flips through them very quickly, in a way that seems almost dismissive, but also is like, maybe she does just see that quickly. You don't know. She's a Spider Woman. Like, who knows? As she's going through, and she stops and she looks at you and she stares you very intently, like in the eyes, which is very uncomfortable because her eyes are so strange.
Yeah, Aoife doesn't falter in front of her gaze, and she even like sits up and sort of like straightens her shoulders, like meets it.
You do good work. This is some of the best I've ever seen. I would like you to work for me.
I'd be honored.
Good. And the fact that you have a connection to this one here. She looks at Cal, who sort of smiles in a corner. That's good. Well, I'm always looking for promising new designers, and I think we can work out something exclusive, in fact. So, let me know when you have the designs. I need to get them up as soon as possible, but you're it. You're the next thing. And it doesn't help, you did save my life, so I owe you a favor as well, on top.
Ooh, we're gonna write that down.
Hell yeah, you got a favor from a Fae. Finally, the scoreboards are turning, Tony. Ha So, whenever you have something, let me know. And take this. And she goes and looks kind of behind her desk, and pulls out a little box, and hands it to you. It looks like a little jewelry box.
Beautiful. Yeah, she will accept it, and she'll take a quick peek to open it.
You see, it's a brooch that's shaped like a gold spider with a stone set in the center. What color stone would Aoife like for this?
I think it's like a really, really lovely, just like bright yellow peridot that just like the light of the sun.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and it like just with the gold like inlay, it looks like gorgeous. And it's tasteful. It's not like one of those giant like creepy spider brooches. It's something you could easily wear. So essentially, while you have this brooch, you can cast the message spell back and forth with Mistress Silk anytime you are in Coven. If you are outside of Coven, you can send the sending spell once per day using this stone. So you basically have a direct line. And Silk will say, and of course, we are looking to design for Coven. But, as you've seen, I have my ways. I have clients all over the realms. So, brush up on everything you know. I'm not sure what's going on here. And she like looks at you. It's like, whatever this story is, you've got to open that book. You're going to be famous. Get used to it now.
And she kind of very confidently tosses her hair back and she says, I'm up to the challenge.
Good. I like her. Kel, she's good for you. And he goes, what? And like makes a sound. And she moves like towards, it's like, well, I actually have to close up now, but let me know when you'll be back. And if there's anything you need, of course, I'm sure Kel can help you. Kel makes another strangled sound, like from the couch.
She says, you'll be the first to know as soon as I'm back in Coven, and I'll have a fresh portfolio for you of new designs.
Good. Well. She gives you a brush off hand. Yeah, and Kel's like
promptly leave.
Yeah. Gathers everything, that you like splooged all over, the desk before. And you quickly, you find yourself standing outside and there's like the lock behind you as Silk turns the door and you're standing on the doorstep and he's like, that seemed to go really well.
Yeah, she'll immediately like pull him around the corner of the building so we're like out of earshot because who knows how far spiders see or hear. They're a mystery. And she will just like grab his forearms and be like, and like squeeze. She'll be like, oh my god, I'm gonna be famous.
Yeah, I think so. Silk has never been that nice to anyone, and that's her nice. That was really nice. She really likes
so
you.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Does. Oh my god, I'm freaking out. Oh my god, thank you.
No, thank you. I mean, if I can, give anything,
Yeah, she just like carelessly throws her arms like around his neck, like sort of like jumping up to like catch his neck and like hugs him.
And he like lifts you because he has to, right? Because he's foot and a half, and he's holding you, and you're like spinning, and there's a moment where he's paused, and you're there, and your faces are really close, and he's just looking down at you, and
oh yeah, she's like, oh yeah, big like, oh my god, kiss me face.
Okay, so he leans in. Yeah, he's like, is this the moment? Is this the...
Oh yeah, and she like leans right back into him.
Oh my god, teenage kiss, like prom night magic kiss. Happens in this like weird, alley around the corner. And you kiss, and it's a little it's a little like weird, awkward first. Clearly, neither of you have done
Hot
this
and
a lot.
sweat, and oh my god, it's like hot and frantic and sloppy because we're still full of adrenaline from our lives
we're
being
alive,
in danger.
And he, you separate. And he kind of like, realizes he's still holding you and sort of puts you down on the ground and takes your hand and smiles down at you, and he's like, "You're incredible."
And she just like laughs and she says like, I promise for our first real date, we can go somewhere like a park and not dangerous.
Oh yeah, that'd be great if you want. I mean, though, anywhere with you is I'm not even scared. That was my life. I could have died, and you're just, wow. He looks at you and tilts his head, almost like a golden retriever, like kind of look, it's like a one ear up.
Yeah, she just, stares back at him and she's like, we're gonna be a good team.
God, I hope so. And that feels like a good place to end the episode. Oh boy, one-on-one, yay! So
it was so fun.
Yay, good. It was so fun. Haunted dolls, fun, teenage romance. It was good. We just lived through a horror movie, and we are the happy ending. Fantastic. So, and also super fun. This was officially the beginning of your heroic destiny. To begin the celebrity heroic destiny that you have put yourself on, because girl, you're gonna be famous. The requirement basically to begin this destiny, you have to have a direct social interaction where a creature whose opinion you respect takes notice of your activities and encourages you to pursue them further. So Mistress Silk, as a very successful, dress shop owner and designer, has absolutely taken Aoife like, hey, yeah, we're going to put you on the stage. We're going to make you famous. So, Sage, why don't you tell us a little bit about the celebrity destiny and then what you now get, because you officially have tier 1 status here.
Yay! So when you officially successfully embark on your heroic destiny, you gain the following benefits, which are awesome. 1, magnetism.
Mm-hmm.
Your personality draws others towards you. You have advantage on charisma-based ability checks made to influence creatures who are neutral or friendly towards you.
You're just so charismatic, my god. Super Bard. This is the Super Bard destiny.
Super Bard. And then our second feature that we get is force of personality, which we know Aoife has in spades. Your confidence shines through everything you do, making you a force to be reckoned with. You can replace the number rolled on an attack roll, saving throw, or an ability check made by you with your charisma score. Adding modifiers as usual, determine the total. You may choose to do so after the dice is rolled, but before the results are declared. And so you can use that once per short or long rest. So once per short or long rest, I could be like, you know what? I rolled an 18.
Yeah.
Bam!
Bam! Hell
Love
yeah.
it!
Hell yeah. Yes. So this is tier 1 of the celebrity heroic destiny. So yeah, I'm excited to see as Aoife becomes world fucking famous, is the end goal of this destiny, right? So it'll be fun. It'll be good stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so excited.
Great game. All right. Well, thank you everybody so much for joining us. Again, we're the Venture Maidens. We're an actual play stream that converts to a podcast. If you like what we do, the best way to support us is to, tell everyone you know about the show to come and check it out. We make a ton of free content. We put this all out there. We, pour our hearts into it, our souls, our time, everything. So please just tell people to come check out the show. If you like it, let people know. If you really like it, you can leave us a review on, right here, if you're watching this on Twitch, give us a follow. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a like, give us a follow there too. It's really great. Subscribing, liking, following. It's super awesome. And of course, you can also do that on social media at Venture Maidens across all of the platforms to keep up with everything we are doing. And if you really, really like us, you can support us on Patreon, which is a really awesome website where you can donate monthly or make a one-time donation to the creators that you love. Patreon is our primary and really only source of income. So every dollar you give there just goes into making the show better, keeping it going. We've been going now for 5+ years, and with your support, we're going to keep going for much, much longer than that. So thank you so much. And we always like to take some time to say an extra special thank you to our patrons who donate at the $25 and higher tiers. So let's say thank you to our Arnadel's cohort tier. So these are the fucking champions who donate $50 a month. Thank you so much, Curry. You are fabulous.
Oh, yes, one of our mods, Curry, who we love dearly.
Curry, I love you.
Thank you, Cody Becker.
Thank you so much, Muffin, who's been such a long-term donor. I love you. Thank you so much.
One of our first.
One of our first.
Goodness.
You've always been here, Muffin. We love you.
And thank you so much, Nissa McKinnon.
Thank you. And then for our $25 Ferris drinking mate tier, thank you so much, Fable.
And thank you, Kevin.
And thank you, Mark.
And Chris.
And Tony, who also loves Tony. I'm sorry Tony wasn't here for this episode, but I hope, Tony, that you enjoyed this non-Tony episode still, even without Tony. But thank you all so much. So you too can, be shouted out at the end of every episode. If you head over to patreon.com/venturemaidens and check out, what we got going on there. You also get a ton of free additional content, literally hundreds of hours of bonus content, including full shows like Rime of the Frost Maiden, our whole playthrough. I'm posting the last episode of that arc soon, as well as a bunch of games that have been DM'd by Sage, including our playthrough of Descent into Avernus, and just a ton of other goodies. Coloring book pages that come out every month from Katie, magic items that you can use in your own games as characters, as players. It's good shit, kids. It's good shit.
Hell yeah.
Well, let's see. What else? We'll be back in 2 weeks with episode 17 of Venture Maidens on the 20th. But Sage, you got anything going on before then?
Let's see here.
I'm looking at my calendar right now. I'm looking up at my wall, my calendar wall, I think.
Let's see. We just finished up the first season of Path and Prophecy, which was the show that I ran on bi-weekly Mondays, which was set in Theros, a very ancient Greece-inspired setting that's in the Magic the Gathering universe. And so we just finished up that first season. That'll be picking up in September. We're having we're doing a whole Magic the Gathering league on another channel that I'll be a part of. That's going to be a whole long tournament. So you can tune in there on Monarch Media's Twitch channel to be able to see me, root for me as I conquer in Magic the Gathering.
Yes! Dominate!
But yeah, and then come May, we will have a new show starting up that'll be between our campaign Wednesdays. So it'll be in a new system it'll be in a different system called Urban Shadows, which is a powered by the Apocalypse system, and there will be some cast announcements soon. So stay tuned. Follow at Venture Maidens on Twitter to get that sweet detail about who will be showing up in that next new show that we'll be bringing to you here on Twitch.
Hell yeah. All right, I think that's it. So thank you all. I love you. I have been your Venture Maiden. It's me, the Emperor of Venture Maiden. It's me. I've been your Dungeon Master, Celeste Konowich.
And I have been your Destiny-bound bard, Aoife Flannery.
Ooh, I like it. Well, Thank you all so much for joining us. Until next time, everybody.
Venture away!
Venture away, everybody! We did it. It's easier with two people. Bye-bye! Oh my god, wait, where is the bye?